Welcome back to Been There, Watch That. We are on episode number 60 this week. Joe has picked John Q.
And before we get started, I'm going to steal Dave's line. Just go ahead and just throw out the mop buckets now, and we'll just make this a 30-second show.
Right. Check us out at BeenThereWatchThat.com. Go back, watch some of our old reviews, and see if you think we're spot
funny.
on or
Joe's
we
funny.
have no idea what we're talking about.
Joe is definitely not spot on. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Type in BTWT Pod. Follow us on there as well, and send in some movie recommendations. We always like checking out the fan picks and watching something maybe we wouldn't normally watch. The Princess Bride, I remember being one of them. That was interesting. That was one of the fan picks.
Yeah.
Which, I think that one came out of the wash pretty highly ranked.
The Shining was the last fan pick we did, which was quite a
Yeah, my
Yeah.
gosh, walk down memory lane and scary stuff.
I think is this the first time Mr. Denzel Washington has been featured on the podcast?
Let me see. I can tell you real quick.
I don't know. Training day? We do training day?
No,
Nope.
we haven't done training day yet.
Okay.
This is one I had never seen. John Q. I'd heard of it and had no idea what it was about.
Yes, this is Mr. Washington's first appearance on the
All right.
podcast.
Welcome, Mr. Washington. Want to give us the rundown, Joe?
All right, so the story centers around a man whose 9-year-old son is in desperate need of a life-saving transplant. When he discovers that his medical insurance won't cover the cost of the surgery and alternative government aid is unavailable, John Q. Archibald takes a hospital emergency room hostage in a last-ditch attempt to save his child.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. So, man, what a crazy story. And
Is it a heart transplant?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's the richest nation in history. Can't afford national health care insurance, and this message is just pounded into you.
Yes.
That the system is broken.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a political issue. It's a money issue. The hospitals are making gazillions, and these politicians are wrapped up into it. And it's just, it's a slanted, manipulative type.
Yeah, they make the
Deal.
higher ups at the hospital and the doctors out to be pretty
Oh,
villainous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Maybe
just,
a little over the top with how little they care about the
Yeah.
average person, and it's all about money.
And
Well-
I know we go through and do the cast, but I'm just saying Anne Hesh played it to the T.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was this is just the deal.
Yes.
You can't afford it. The hospital can't afford to pay it.
We've already
Yeah.
gone out of our way to.
Yeah, we've been super
We've
nice
been-
to you
yeah.
already, and now you're just beating us up with this.
Yeah.
Well,
And
to not steer us too far off of the casting call yet, but Justin, I speaking from personal experience, that's not too far off the spectrum, and I'll tell you the story.
Mm-hmm.
So when Sadie was born,
Mhm.
Cena had to have emergency C-section. So everything came out okay, everything's good. They're taking Cena back to the room. So we're walking down the hallway. The nurse is pushing the bed, and she asked me. She said, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm going, "I don't know. It's undiagnosed." A lot of people ask me that question.
Yeah.
I just kind of looked at her and told my hands like, "What do you mean?" She said, "You're not 16. You're married. You work, and you have insurance."
Sounds brilliant.
And I just I said, "Okay," which tells me that for a nurse just to pop that information out, they got to looking in to see
Yeah.
what our means of pay were before they considered
Oh yeah.
Cena and Sadie's health,
Yeah.
which falls right into this movie.
Yeah.
So it's not too
Yeah, I
far
guess-
over the top as what
Oh,
you think.
it's not. It's not.
That's-
I just mean
That's
this
step number
was.
one as soon as you come in is they check all your.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to get a copy of your insurance card during
Yeah.
your registration and all that jazz.
Yep.
It's just crazy. I don't know. There's so many things that one of the things I have with this movie is, hey, he's working 20 hours a week, so he's part time. He has insurance. And he goes in to talk to his company, and then his company rep's like, well, there's $20,000 ceiling. You've already used that.
Your
That's just how
policy changed recently or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they didn't tell him.
didn't tell him, or he didn't know because they sent him a letter, but he didn't get it. Whatever. It's kind of crazy. HMO. It's kind of like the dirty world of the insurance, dirty word of the insurance
Mm-hmm.
deals. But you know, I like how everybody tells him you're lucky. Like, you know, Ann Hesh told him, "Oh, you're lucky. We went out of our way." You know, his rep's like, "Hey, you're lucky you have insurance at all, and that we covered you that much." You know, lucky. He's a lucky guy.
Yeah. Watching your son literally die and literally
Yeah.
they're tying you saying you can't do nothing but sit there and watch him die. Yeah. I call that lucky.
Yeah. Did you guys notice the name of the hospital? Crisis of Hope.
No.
Yeah. Memorial. Crisis of Hope Memorial Hospital.
And then there's mention of some other hospital down the road, but it's like basically a death sentence to go there.
Well, that's kind
They
of
make
like
it out to be
like a county hospital.
if you went in there for a heart transplant, you're not coming out.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the nurse told him. She's
Yeah.
like, you know,
Do not.
she's
go.
like, do not leave here. Demand, you know, but demand they serve your child. So, kind of crazy. I don't
See,
know.
Where's this set? Is this Chicago?
Chicago,
Yeah.
yeah.
So he's a factory worker, Denzel, and
Yeah.
they play up that it's just can't get the hours, and he's gets his car repossessed, and
Yep.
definitely struggling financially.
Yeah.
They set that up early on in the movie. It's not like he's gambling it away or something. He's just
Yeah,
like,
yeah. He's
he's
busting
not a
his.
degenerate. He's just
He can't make ends meet. He's doing everything he can. He and his wife both
Yeah.
are literally working themselves to death to try to get, you know, to get something, and pretty much told, sorry about your luck, but you're lucky.
Yeah.
and they tell him basically what it's like $250,000 what it's gonna end up being.
Yeah.
He kind of like scrambles together, gets like 10 or 12.
I thought he.
There's that whole scene where he's like shoving money in shoe boxes, selling things, and
Yeah. Comes up
raises
with like $30,000.
Yeah.
And that ought to speak something to, you know, and I know it's a bottom line deal with a hospital,
Yeah.
but like for a man to come up with such a short window of $30,000, that ought to say something like, you know what, maybe he is trying, because there'd be some
Yeah.
people that wouldn't try that hard.
It's hard. I don't know. I mean, you got to think though. In that situation, he's exhausted all his local resources.
Right.
because he doesn't own the house, right?
Yeah.
Just
Well, I
running.
just mean, you know,
They bring that up at one point, like
you can
what-
scrabble and everybody will be nice and, you know, donate for this or that initially, but after a little while, everybody's tapped out.
That's not gonna
Right.
get you to the finish line.
Yeah, and you kind of got to know that.
But
He basically promises, "I'll pay it off."
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that's the thing. Is like, you know,
He shouldn't have said, "I don't know how, but I will."
Yeah.
well, but you know,
Should've said, "I got a plan."
that kind of speaks to the volume of the type of man he is. Is like, look, it costs $250,000. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving you 30,000. If I wasn't the type of man that would be willing to step up and pay my own debts, because he's not asking for a handout. If I'm willing to pay my own debts, here's $30,000. If I wasn't that type of man, I wouldn't have I wouldn't just hand over $30,000 and sell everything I own to you know, make this
I
happen.
mean, he's talking in desperation though,
Right.
Yeah. And
which, you know, you would do for your child. You would say whatever you had to say for your
Absolutely.
child. So
But again, from a financial standpoint, yeah, he could have kept that money to buy the you know, get the car back out of repossession. I mean, he could have done a lot of things with that money, but it's like, no, look, I'm selling literally everything I own for my son.
yeah.
Work with me here.
Then, like she said though, she already worked with him.
Yeah.
Went above and beyond already. So it makes it hard. It's a gut wrencher. Jeez. Heart wrencher. How about
Yes.
that? Oh, it doesn't matter. I gotta
tough
say,
movie
that-
to watch.
yeah, it's a tough movie to watch. I was a little disappointed in some of the scenes, like especially Ray Liotta. You know, as police chief, he was pompous and made a lot. I don't think a police chief, especially with that many gold stars, would have made that dumb of decisions. You know, he's on letting his TV cameras get heisted by local news, and then B, when he realizes he's on the news, goes ahead and tells the sniper to shoot him. And then the sniper misses at 30 yards. I mean, come on.
Hanging upside down from the ceiling for some reason.
Yeah,
It's the weirdest shot.
yeah.
I don't think they recommend that.
Well,
Shooting
it's
like
kind of crazy how that whole setup. A, the sniper's inept. B, you know, he knows what's going on and he tells him to do it anyway on national TV. I mean, that's just.
But it makes Robert Duvall look better.
Oh, it does. I mean, I know why they did it. It's pretty shoddy. You know, we know that our police tactical force is way better than that. You get somebody in the building like that, you don't even have to sniper him. You just drop down and, take care of him.
Right.
But anyway, so that part of the movie I was a little disappointed in because it was such a good, heartfelt story, and then you kind of get that boggle and it's like, oh man, is the police force in Chicago really that inept? Is the captain really going to be that much of a knucklehead?
Right.
But yeah, you're right. Robert Duvall looked very good in it. He played his usual role of,
some big
grandpa
names.
type guy. Yeah, did we do the casting call?
No, we didn't.
Come on, boys. What are we doing here?
We're so wound up in the story.
Yeah, it was a good story.
So you ready for the casting call?
Yeah.
So Denzel Washington plays John Quincy Archibald, and he's known for Fences, Training Day, and The Book of Eli. Robert Duvall is a repeat offender of the show. He plays Lieutenant Frank Grimes, and he's known for Bullet, which is in our archives, Thank You for Smoking, which is also in our archives, and The Godfather. Kimberly Elise plays Denise Archibald, and she's known for The Manchurian Candidate. Daniel E. Smith plays the son Mike Archibald. He's known for The Bold and Beautiful and NCIS. David Thornton plays Jimmy Palumbo, and he's known for Home Alone 3. And Kevin Conley plays Steve McGuire, and he's known for Entourage and The Notebook. That is your casting call.
Nice. Any surprises for you all? Like anybody shine? I thought the guy that played Lester, that had finger issues.
Yeah.
He was in Day After Tomorrow
That's right.
as the guy with the little dog, But
Mhm.
same funny disposition. I was like, I know him.
Yeah.
He's playing the same role. And I really like Kevin Connolly. He was the young doctor that was like, "Oh, come on, man! This is the game they play." In the hospitals, he's the naive young employee that wants to save the world and is there for the right reasons. Thought he did really good.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, personally, I didn't feel that there was any character that kind of pulled you out of the story.
Yeah, I mean James Wood, perfect for the pompous heart surgeon doctor that's too good to
yes.
save a gunshot wound.
Yeah,
It's not what he does.
yeah.
So I thought that was really good. He did a good job there.
I don't know. I thought the creepo guy that was beating on his girlfriend and the security guard were probably my two least favorite characters.
They were meant to be that way. Lazy, inept security guard, and then a violent boyfriend.
Well, speaking of the security guard,
I meant just acting wise, they were. I don't know.
Yeah,
They weren't convincing to me.
I agree.
the actor that plays the security guard,
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking him up here. I can't remember his name.
He did like a 200-pound weight loss.
Ethan Suplee.
Yeah, have you guys
He's
seen
all,
him
like,
lately?
Jacked now. Yeah.
Like, he don't even look like the same person.
Yeah.
Yep. Good for him,
I
because
liked,
he was a heart attack waiting to happen.
I like kind of the best buddy of Denzel's character.
Yeah.
David Thornton is the actor. right?
Yes.
I thought he was pretty good.
Yeah.
Definitely believable as like a factory working guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just because I know they're in Chicago, but like at the baseball field, that scene we could see it here in our town.
Oh,
and,
yeah,
and just everybody just knows everybody, and everybody just sitting there having a good time, and it's like, yeah, they live in Chicago, but there's still those small town elements like that. It's like, yeah, we would, we could point out to people in Chicago, yeah, that's so and so, and that's so and so. So it's able to pull a small town feel in a concrete jungle.
Yeah.
Seemed like maybe some accents being thrown around here and there that I wasn't quite sure. Like, where is this supposed to be? Is this Boston or before I saw a shot of the city and knew where it was, I'm like,
Yeah.
what's going on here? Like, what accent are they going for? Some of these characters.
So here's an interesting fact. The scene where George W. Bush is speaking about health care while John and Denise are watching television, there's also footage of Al Gore because the election winner had not been declared at the time of filming.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Yes,
neat.
so they had two different scenes set up and ready in case, waiting to see how the election came out.
Thought it was interesting how they went to the local news guy and he's just like, yeah, we'll see what we can do, and just played it off. He's heard every sob story. That's what I was thinking. He's already heard all the sob stories and
Yeah.
no effect on him.
But as many times as I've seen it, this is the first time I caught it that he was the same news anchor that covered the live story.
Yeah.
Because I've watched this many times, and this was the first time I've caught. It's like, hey, that's the same guy they went and begged to before, and it's interesting.
Yeah,
It's
as
gone
soon as
full
it's
circle.
a news story for real, he's on it.
Yeah.
Not for real, but
Right.
to benefit him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's my issue with John Q.
Uh-oh.
I don't buy that becomes a hero in the public's eye, and that the people he kidnaps, puts his gun in their face, and holds captive basically love him by the end of it. Think he's a great guy. I think if it's not Denzel Washington, if it's some bloke off the street, you're not gonna have crowds cheering for you outside. They're gonna be like, "He's an idiot." This is not how you go about things, by
Justin.
threatening to kill innocent people, and that people
Justin.
inside would not be like, you know what, I like that guy that
Poor Justin.
came in here and did this.
This is America.
Yeah.
Cat showed up with a gun. He's a hero.
Oh yeah, true.
And he's a good guy with a gun.
Well, okay, but okay, so this,
I just offended a whole bunch of people.
within like 2 minutes of him having like pointing a gun at people, they're like, man, he's great. Like
Yeah.
they were telling people that.
He's doing it for the right reason.
Because he let a couple of them out. They're like, what do you
Yeah.
think of him? They're like, he's awesome.
Yeah.
he's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so
He's
so-
doing
like,
it
are
to
you
save his
kidding
son.
me?
So hold
What
on.
the
So
heck?
I'm going to disagree with you to the point of saying that he's taken on the giant. You know, he's taken on the corporation. He's doing it to save his son.
Mhm.
Everybody in the room understood why, except for the Mitch character, the white girlfriend beater. You know, he's a punk, but
yeah.
otherwise he's
Mhm.
he's David versus Goliath here.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how they viewed
Yeah,
him. So
in this alternate universe, yeah.
So
But-
well, no,
yeah,
but-
yeah.
real
I'm with
America-
you. I'm with you.
No one would love
So when,
being kidnapped.
so
like this.
when was this movie released?
2002.
Okay, so think back, Justin. 20 years ago,
Mhm.
there was 20 years ago. If that had happened, there would have been more people. Once they found out the real story, had been like, yeah, he's a good guy. He had no intention of hurting the people inside. That wasn't what his goal was. His goal was to save his son. Here we are, 2022. All the people outside, it would have been what I like to call the woke community out there, and just out there for their own selfish reasons, promoting their own blah blah blah, and then just using him as their platform, saying, "Oh, we hate him. What's he in there for? I don't know, but I just hate him because he has a gun. But he's in there trying to save his kid. It doesn't matter." So it's kind of, I think it's kind of more of the time where we are as a society, as where he would fall into the category of good guy or bad guy.
Yeah, I guess I have to transport back to 2002. So I'm a sophomore in high school, and yeah, I'm just picturing somewhere locally in Spencer, some guy ran into the hospital. Would I and would other people in the community rally for that guy? I don't know.
Well, and again, you got to think of the reasons, because a lot of times the news media sensationalizes when there's an event involved with a gun. It's for selfish or stupid reasons. This guy's main goal was to save his son's life by any means possible. He knew that he had no intention of hurting those people. Those people inside knew that he had no intention of hurting them. That it was,
Yeah.
he's grasping for
Yeah.
straws.
At the very beginning, it's a little unclear that, I mean, he does threaten to off a hostage.
Yeah, oh yeah. He was very serious about he's gonna start killing people.
He didn't do like a wink to the people, like, I'm not actually going to do that. I mean, he is on the phone saying, somebody's going to die if you don't do this.
Yeah.
Right, but you've got to get them all convinced. I mean, from go.
You
because
do, but I kind of agree with Justin on this one that he's a bad guy. He's doing
Yeah.
the wrong thing. He should
If
go
I'm
to
in
jail.
there and I might possibly get killed, and I'm not totally sure, is this guy going to do that for real or not? I'm never going to be like, I kind of like that guy. He's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's a complex story, because here's the three of us. We're all
Yeah.
sitting here looking at it at different angles, and morally, a guy with a gun in a hospital, yeah, that's bad. And then you add the layer of he's not trying to hurt anybody. He's trying to save his son's life. So then that makes that simple yes or no answer. That makes it more
Gets
complex.
convoluted. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know though. I mean, romantically, you'd like to think that this is how it would go down, but realistically, it's just a bad move. I agree with Justin on the end. You know, you take a gun into a hospital, you hold people hostage. You know, you run into that scenario of you got a pregnant lady that's going to have a baby. You know, a gunshot victim comes in.
Right.
You know, you put everybody at risk by closing down an emergency room. Because what if you're you know, let's take it to what if you're that gunshot victim's family and you're like, he died because some jackhole with a gun, you know, is trying to save his son.
Right.
I mean, that's great, but my person died.
Yeah.
My family member died.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
I lost my son due to that.
Right. Yeah.
That makes it a whole different.
Right.
ballgame.
That. Right. And that's what I'm saying. It makes such a complex story of it's not black and white.
Right.
It
is definitely complex. 'Cause,
Yeah.
you know that a Chicago emergency room suddenly got very unbusy,
Yes.
and you gotta know that's not good.
Yeah.
But you know,
And the movie goes out of its way to make sure Denzel is portrayed in the best possible way. You know, he does let the gunshot victim in.
Right.
yeah,
He does release hostages. He's overall like he has this moral. Yeah, he's just doing that because he has no other. He feels
He's at the
got
end of his
nothing
rope.
else he can do.
Right.
But at the same time, they show him like not being a monster basically, and
Yeah.
I think that's what they're trying to juggle here for the audience. They're like, we got to get everyone back on his side as quickly as possible. So start with him losing it and whipping out a gun, and then find out later he never even had bullets in it.
Right.
But then throw situations at him that show he's a good guy. They went that route.
Yeah. It's this movie. This is one of my favorite movies,
yeah.
but
There's a lot of different angles.
yeah, it makes me mad every time I watch it.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely walk away hating HMO hospitals
Yes.
and the whole
Yes.
system.
Yeah, and that's because we sitting there watching, and I mean, apparently, I just had that look of just sheer anger on my face, and Cena's going, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why?" She goes, She says, "You just look outraged, like living." I was like, "I am." It's like this movie does this to me every time. I know how the movie goes, I know how the story ends, but I get sucked in every time.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. There's the writers of the movie. Yeah, it seems like they had a message that they wanted to get out there. That there's
Yeah.
some serious issues with the American healthcare system, and
I wonder if it
They
caused
go-
issues.
they hit you over the head pretty good with it. Like really putting it out there. Like look at the messed up stuff that can.
I wonder
That
if
goes
any of
on.
the you're right. You know, that's a great point. I wonder if any of the insurance companies or hospitals like, time out. Whoa, you made a movie about this? You're making us look really, really bad, and they tried to stop it or do anything like that.
Well, they haven't changed anything, so I doubt that.
Yeah, that's true. They're probably just like, haha, you know the problem, and we're still getting away with it.
Yeah.
America.
Yep. Yep.
That's crazy. That's a good point, Justin. I don't know, man. You're right, Joe. It's a complex story. You
Yeah.
feel for him because he wants to save his son.
Yeah.
You know, you feel for his wife. I mean, that she puts him in a tough spot. Do
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
All right, then we're going to violence.
Yeah.
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 It's the only thing he had left.
Yeah, she called his bluff. It's like, you said you're gonna take care of it. Now actually do something about it. You've talked enough. It's put up or shut up time.
Desperate times.
Yes.
Call for desperate measures.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what if you're going to recommend? You know, my usual question. If you're going to recommend this to one of your friends to watch, what's the poignant scene that you're going to say, "Hey, it's got this going on for it"? I always think I would be talking about the baseball scene because I think sports, especially around here in rural,
Yeah.
you know, West Virginia, people, like you said, Joe, little league fields are all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, soccer fields are all over the place, football fields. People would relate to a young child needing medical help.
Yeah.
And, you know, in our community especially is so giving when something like this happens. You know, when a kid needs help, they get it here.
Absolutely.
And that's the way it is in West Virginia and most of America for the most part. But I think that's what gets me is like, hey, kid was at a baseball game, went down, you know,
Yeah.
needed medical help. Then it became an issue.
Okay. It's not to
That would be my scene.
not to steer away from the poignant scene, Well, I'm gonna make a note because I got a note to talk about
Okay.
after we
Yeah,
discuss
yeah,
poignant
go
scenes.
ahead.
I don't want to hijack it.
Gotcha.
Um, Justin, you want to cover your poignant scene?
Well, we'll say a twist that I didn't really see coming and I thought worked pretty well was when his son is on trying to get him on a list and trying to find him a heart, and it's not looking good, and basically he comes to the conclusion he could just off himself and give it and
Yeah.
have his son take his
Yes.
heart. So dad going to that extreme of saying
The
well,
ultimate
there's no
sacrifice.
other option here, so I have this gun and I've got this doctor, and he convinces him to. So if I kill myself right here, will you take my heart out and give it to my son? And he's like, yeah, I guess I will.
That is kind of crazy.
That
It
was
is a
kinda crazy.
crazy thing that took him that long to get to that point.
Yeah.
I have a big question mark there, though. Then there's a scene of Denzel's wife screaming and running towards the hospital. She had no idea he was going to do that, though, right?
Right.
So what's going on there? How?
Well, because she was trying to hit him on the walkie-talkie and he wasn't responding, so she's basically saying, you know what, forget it. I'm just going to go in, and she took matters into her own hands.
Yeah.
But it seemed like the way the scene was conveyed that she was hysterical, realizing, oh my gosh, he's going to kill himself if I don't run over there.
I didn't take it as that.
Okay.
I took it as she was elated that they got the answer that they was looking for. They found a
Okay.
heart for the son, and she was going around to tell John, look, you don't have to do this. You know, you can let these people go. It's all taken care of.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, it was just a point of confusion for me.
I mean, Dave, am I wrong on that?
Yes, but I just think it was them. I felt like the movie was trying to be too theatrical. You know, I'm assuming you're just saying what a coincidence, Justin.
To me, yeah, it seemed like
Yeah, I mean, just
the way
what
she
a
was acting,
coincidence.
she,
Yeah,
she
yeah.
was like
She was
running
yeah,
to stop him from killing himself. But
Yeah.
then I'm like, wait,
How did she know?
She never knew, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Because she was like screaming, like John, like no, like running towards the hospital. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it confused me. I was like, yeah. I thought only the people inside knew about his little plan to do that.
Yeah, I think I just took it as he wasn't responding to the walkie-talkie call, so she's going to go make sure, hey, John, this is all
Yeah.
taken care of
That
now.
makes sense.
I don't know. How's she gonna do that by running and screaming at the hospital? You can't hear her.
Well, but
That's
when
what.
you-
Got,
when you-
that's why I
when-
think it's over theatrical movie play.
Well, when you have that kind of news and you're in that situation, of course,
Yeah.
I think I would have been screaming it over the walkie-talkie.
That's yeah. I'd been like, hey, it's good. We're good. Here comes the heart. Get
Yeah.
him ready for surgery. You got to start making things happen in there so that they can get him ready for surgery. Lay
Yeah.
down your gun and come outside. Do something so we can get this working.
Yeah, that's one thing I always wonder. It's like, she says she keeps calling for him on the walkie-talkie. Why don't
Yeah.
you just go ahead and spill your guts?
Yeah,
and-
tell him so he could hear it.
Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah, I agree though with Justin's sentiment there that it was overplayed.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it gives you that feel good feeling when you see her run against that door and still screaming. But
Yeah.
why didn't she start screaming through the walkie-talkie before she had even got to that point?
Yeah.
So you guys want to hear my poignant scene?
Yep.
Yes.
The one for me, and it hits me every time. What we think is his last conversation with his son.
Yeah.
That one hits me every time.
Mm-hmm.
Just, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's for me personally, that is the hardest scene to watch.
That
She
is
said-
a tough one.
Is his son awake at that time or
Mhm.
sleeping?
Barely. He's
Barely.
awake. He cracks his eyes open.
Because the son's energy level is just like so low. Basically, he can whisper. But he's pretty much
Yeah, he's just straining to whisper.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a hard scene.
Yeah, that's a good one, Joe.
Okay, so back to bashing the insurance companies. One of the things we learn about Mike's heart is the doctors could have prevented all this to begin with, but the insurance company said, "Oh, we're not paying for that."
Yeah.
And I heard someone say this a long time ago. In America, we don't have health care, we have sick care.
This is very true.
You know, we don't want to pay, as an insurance company, they don't want to pay to prevent it,
Yeah.
but then they wonder why it costs so much to treat it.
It's so funny. We do the same thing in education.
Yes.
And I work in education and a little bit in health. I was on the board of a family health care over here for about 8 years, and man, oh man, that is not a more poignant statement to be made there, Joe. But and it, we always, the joke is that hospitals will go out of business if people are healthy, and it's a business. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, there's alternative ways that hospitals could treat people, but
Well, I would have to argue with that statement.
it's like the pharmaceutical companies. They don't want you to be better,
Yeah.
because then they would stop making money. And there's a reason pharmaceutical companies are making so much money.
Yeah.
When insurance and pharmaceutical companies stop naming coliseums after themselves because they just have so much money, then I would worry.
Yeah.
But right now they're making gazillions.
As far as these companies being run out of business, there's always going to be car wrecks. There's always going to be broken arms.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's always going to be a money maker.
You're gonna have some of that. I just mean, it's crazy how services relate over, and hospitals. And I'm not taking it away from hospitals and healthcare centers completely, because a lot of them do a lot of good stuff. Like here in
Right.
our small community, we are very fortunate to have a big hospital and to have a healthcare center.
Yes,
There's
absolutely.
a lot of places that do not have those facilities, so I want to say we're spoiled.
Yeah, because because there's.
Oh, you can go up to our hospital or urgent care, which is kind of at the same situation in our physical fitness complex, our physical therapy complex. We have a lot of services available right
Yes.
here locally. Otherwise, we'd have to drive an hour.
Right.
And family health care does the same thing. A health care center that you can walk in and get services regardless of the ability to pay. I mean, it's just phenomenal.
Right.
But the underlying theme is everybody fights the battle, and I assume the hospitals kind of get unfairly abused by it because it is insurance.
Right.
The insurance company, I feel like, is the real devil in this situation.
Yeah, that's the thing. The insurance company is kind of holding the hospitals at hostage, saying, "Okay, you can do this, but we won't pay."
And that's kind of how Anne Hesh approached it. I felt sorry for her in that manner, that she's like, listen, the hospitals already went above and beyond. Now it's an insurance issue.
Yeah.
But we're caught in the middle.
Yeah. The hospitals, even up to this day, are unfortunately the middleman, and they always take the brunt of all the.
And it's not fair of me to say it's the hospital's fault, because they're, like I said, I blame the insurance and the pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah,
Because hospitals, if they make some money, they invest it back into, like I know our hospital's a board-operated hospital, so nobody's making a profit off this. The hospital expands services, they update their facilities,
Right.
They help with patient services, and any money that's made. And
Right.
if they generate a positive revenue, it goes right back into the community.
Right.
So
Yeah. So in especially situations like that, the hospital's literally held hostage, just saying the insurance company is holding him hostage, saying you will tell them this. You will.
Yeah.
You will tell that family, no, we won't pay for.
And it's funny,
X, Y, and
they
Z."
never, the movie never brought an insurance person in the picture.
No. Well.
They just kept saying the HMO, the
Yeah.
HMO you have.
Yeah. They play the insurance company like it does in real life. The insurance company is this invisible. Think about it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
this invisible boogeyman.
Yeah, you're right.
That scares everybody, but
You
nobody
are
ever puts a
right.
face with it. You always
Yeah.
put the face with the hospital administrator that is dealing the bad news, but you never see the quote unquote insurance man.
Now it has a character here in the casting call that says insurance rep, and I think he called her or something. But yeah, she's
Okay.
the last one on the thing.
Okay.
You know what's crazy is Robert Duvall is way down the list. Why is he so far down the list?
I don't know.
Like he's fifth from last. He's down with Larry King and Jay Leno, who just had little cameo spots.
Jay Leno on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Watching
a
TV.
cameo where they said, But
I
yeah,
mean-
Robert Duvall's way down the casting call, and he's one of the bigger actors on the sheet.
Do you think? I mean, is the underlying political message here, Joe? Like universal health care or some form of affordable health insurance for every American? I mean, what are they going for here with this messaging?
I think the message would be, look, here we're putting spotlight on what we have isn't working.
Yeah.
That there needs to be major improvements across the board, but letting the inmates run the asylum isn't getting us anywhere. That we need something better. Is universal health
Being
care?
the insurance folks.
Yeah.
Being the inmates.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Letting them just run amok of everything.
Mhm.
That is universal health care? Maybe. Is it a different type of healthcare structure? Absolutely, because obviously what's current isn't working.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to fix it. It's like,
It's funny though, the politicians have been fighting about it since the '90s, basically, right?
well, it's always
At
been
this
a
point, but just
it's-
back and forth, unable to pass anything or agree on what the new system should look like.
well, I think it's one of those. It just makes a good talking point. It's like,
Yeah.
it's one of those. At some point, you just go, until you show me progress, I'm not going. From my standpoint, it's like until you show me progress, I'm not going to buy in your bunk, because it's just a talking head point that all of them say. It's about like the Miss America. If you win Miss America, what do you want to do? I want to end world hunger. I've heard that so many times.
Yeah. Interesting. The opening scenes of this movie is some music and a lady driving a little too fast down,
Yeah.
passing people. On
Yes.
doubles.
It was an interesting open
Line.
scene. Yeah.
And then, I mean, that doesn't come back until like an hour into the movie. You
Yes.
realize, because at some point I was like, what the heck was that lady driving around at the beginning? But she becomes a heart transplant.
Yeah. She's the
later
heart
'cause
donor.
she-
Yeah.
And do you know
she
what?
wrecks.
Do you know what her character name is?
Uh-uh.
Beautiful lady in car.
Yeah. Yeah. I did
At
see
least
that.
she got the beautiful tag.
Yeah.
You may have seen me as a beautiful lady in car.
Yeah.
In
John Q.
Oh yeah, you're hired.
Of course I did. Yeah.
Yeah, you got hit by the semi, didn't you? Yeah. Well, when we started seeing, he goes, "Oh man, this movie's starting like The Shining. They're going up the mountainside." I was like, "Oh, I never even thought of that."
Kind of seemed like maybe they skimped a little bit on the car crash budget. I don't know. It seemed kind of
Yeah.
pretty obvious that it's fake. Wasn't very realistic.
Yeah, it was like it didn't look like the
Just the speeds and everything
Yes.
were off. Like,
yeah, because it wasn't even like it was slow motion. Like they literally told him, "Okay, Bryce, slow down now. You just tap the bumper. Now you just back out uncontrollably and make sure the hubcap flies off." And
like a semi's kind of coming at the car, but not really that fast. Probably could have stopped, but just barrels into it.
well, and it's like, yeah, just the way the logistics of physics are looking at the way the speed of the car versus the speed of the
Yeah.
oncoming traffic and the truck going downhill. It's like she could have passed that and just kept on going. There's no, you can't tell me that there's no possible way of
Yeah.
avoiding that.
It's like a half mile away. Oh, here comes the semi.
Yeah.
Can I get around in time? In a BMW. She was driving like a total idiot too.
Yeah.
What the heck? Who drives like that?
She does. Hence why she's in the
At least she was a donor.
yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, jeez.
So here's an interesting fact.
Yeah.
The end result of the movie wasn't the original script. The original script, John actually ends himself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
Wow.
Can't be a superhero if you die at the end, though.
I know. But that I think that's what always gets me is like my mind starts messing with me when I get towards the end of the movie. Is like, because I didn't know that until I was doing my research. I'm always afraid of like the movie company send in the wrong copy and like the ending's completely opposite of what's supposed to be, and that's what always gets me on my edge of my seat every time. It's like, I know he's not going to do it. I know he's not going to do it, but in the back of my mind, it's like, they could screw up and send the wrong version, and he actually does.
Yeah.
Changes the end of the movie, but it sucks me in every time.
Yeah, I thought Anne Hesh was probably the best part of this movie. I thought she was definitely the villain. She played it well. She looked the role. At the end, she was smoking a cigarette, which cemented her in that villain role.
Yes. Yeah.
I thought that was funny. I was like, "Yep, say
Yeah,
no more."
The doctor did a good job of being a total
Yeah, James Wood also
But,
sold it. He was just
yeah.
pompous enough to pull it off.
All right. Budget, you guys want to guess, or do you know already?
I have no idea. Yeah,
All right, throw it out.
hit, lay it on me.
I'm gonna say 22 million.
Oh man, not a lot of special effects, but big actors. I'm gonna say 15 million.
36.
Holy
Wow.
cow!
Box office, 100 million. 102 million.
I can
Wow,
see
okay.
that. I
Yeah.
can see that very
Did
easily.
pretty well.
Yeah,
for itself.
Denzel will pull in some stuff.
Yep.
36 million.
Yep.
That's amazing.
That does seem like a ton of money, but I guess there were some big scenes with tons of extras and police vehicles, SWAT vehicles.
Yeah,
Lots of
they
stuff.
can rent those though, and
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like it'd be too big a
Had
budget.
a lot of big names though.
Yeah, it did have big names.
But you gotta give me credit. There wasn't a lot of explosions.
I know. One little car wreck, and that's it.
Yeah, and just one gunshot.
Yeah. Interesting.
When it came out, it was #1 movie in America in the opening weekend.
Yeah, I believe that.
Very
I'd say
easy.
good cast.
Yes.
20 years ago, it'd be a fantastic cast. All right.
Did you know there's a Hindi adaptation?
Really?
Z Studios acquired the rights to John Q's Hindi adaptation titled Sanak.
Huh.
With Vidyut Jamawa in the leading role.
I don't know if I'd want to see that. You have me confused, Justin. I kind of want to see it, but I'm like, do I
Rele-
really want
Released in 2021
Oh, wow.
to mixed reviews.
Hmm.
I'm interested. I'm kind of curious. That'd be
to see if we can track it down?
Yeah.
Because it's like, could it be as good,
I
or are we
s-
talking
yeah.
like The Room here?
Yeah, I see where Justin's pick is going.
Oh man.
Holy cow.
Look at the
Movie poster. What's the movie called?
Sanak.
How you spell that?
Oh, jeez.
That does not look like.
That's not even
John
the same
Q.
movie.
Wow.
Yeah, he looks real intimidating.
But it looks like a romantic love story.
Yes.
What is going on?
Oh, would you hate to buy a movie ticket for that? Like, for you take your date, you take your girl for a date, and hey, honey, let's go to a movie. Oh, that looks like a good date movie, and then bam.
I'm gonna shoot myself in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe she's a nurse at the hospital and he points a gun at her and they fall in love. She gets what is it? The syndrome?
Stockholm Syndrome.
Stockholm. Yeah, maybe that's what's going on here.
Wow.
They live happily ever after. What? Now, remind me, John Q. What happens at the very end? Does he go to prison?
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
what I
he
thought.
does.
Yes, he does.
What's he get? Like 5 years or something?
They didn't say.
Okay.
Well, I think they was talking the plea bargain it down to 2. I think he was looking.
That's
at
what
5.
she said.
Yeah.
But yeah, because they were like, sentence will be next week, and she's like, typically this, but 2 good behavior.
Because some stuff he kind of got off on, but the kidnapping, I guess, I don't know. Then you had all the folks that he kidnapped were in court, kind of like supporting him.
Yeah.
The doctor with 2 chicks on his arms.
I've got better things to do than go support a guy that kidnapped me.
You guys ready to rate it up?
I think so.
All right.
Yes.
Well, we know Joe's mop buckets. Dave, what do you think?
Joe's mop bucket?
Yep.
Is that going to be a slam dunk, Joe?
All the way.
All right. I'm
Michael Jordan all the way.
I'm overflowing medium.
Really?
Yeah, I struggle with the whole premise and just the gaffes and Leota with the police chief being such a knucklehead and that whole thing. It doesn't seem. Here's what bothers me.
Okay.
Those are easy things to fix in a movie. I mean, an inept sniper that's come on, from 20 yards away. And the whole knowing it was on national TV and doing it anyway, and I don't know.
Well, no, they didn't.
Those
Know,
are-
they didn't know it was on national TV.
Well, I
at
just
that
mean
point.
he saw it, and I was just like, that's kid stuff.
Yeah.
I felt bad for the police department because it made him look terrible, and in the movie that wouldn't happen, in real life. And then just the whole, I don't know. So yeah, overflowing medium. If they'd have fixed those things, which were super easy to fix, it'd be a different deal.
Okay.
And I agree with Justin with the car wreck, kind of flimsy on that end, and his wife, all of a sudden screaming and yelling towards the hospital from 100 yards away. When you're right, Joe, it'd have been super easy just to say, John, You know, it's all working out. This is wonderful. Whatever you're doing here, let's fix this. He's got a heart coming, and we gotta get him ready.
Yeah.
That makes so much more sense to me,
Yeah.
rather than her just screaming and running towards the hospital.
Right.
That she can't get in because the doors are locked,
Right.
and he can't hear because he's 4 rooms in.
Right.
So those little things are kind of, I don't know, bum me out about it. So overflowing medium for me.
All right. Joe?
You hit the nail on the head,
He's
Justin.
in my bucket.
Even with the silly car crash scene,
Yeah.
And only one gunshot.
yeah, it's a mop bucket. No explosions.
Yep.
One gunshot, mop bucket. Because even trying to watch it from the analytical side of it, I still caught myself getting sucked into
Got
the story.
sucked in. That's good though. I mean, yeah, hey, that's a good movie if it pulls you in like that.
Because I've seen this multiple times, and the story every time gets me sucked.
Gets you
in.
every time.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, that's good that we have those movies. All right, Justin.
For me, it missed the mark. Just me personally, love Denzel, and usually he's always going to bring something good to every role, but I thought they forced him into a little bit too ridiculous of a situation, and just the general writing, I think they hamstrung Mr. Washington a little bit and kept him from really being able to totally overcome some of the ridiculousness of the story just with his acting alone. I think the way they wrote it, to me it just seemed too obvious that, okay, here's these characters, you're really supposed to not like this guy, really supposed to not like this lady, then setting up the characters that are all trapped together with Denzel as hostages. There's the guy everybody's supposed to hate, Mitch, obviously, that he's, and
Yeah.
just some of the other characters they kind of threw in there that to me seemed to come around to liking their kidnapper a little bit too much, too quickly. And yeah, so some of the messaging about healthcare and stuff, to me it all just seemed a little bit too heavy-handed and unrealistic to me. I guess that's my biggest hang up with any sort of movie, is if something to me seems totally unrealistic, I kind of fall out and aren't able to get back in and enjoy the movie for what it is, because I'm whether it be a car crash or real people's reactions to a total stranger kidnapping them being one of admiration for the guy. To me, I just didn't quite buy it, and maybe some different actors could have made me buy it, or if they spent a little bit more time trying to make that transition from I just got kidnapped to I like this person. To me, it just took it out of it, and I'm gonna have to go small on this one.
Really?
Wow.
I was gonna say this is one heck of a long explanation.
Yeah.
If it was gonna be like a large, but okay.
That's why I can't quite go medium, because
Yeah.
if I have that many issues with it, I think I gotta be honest with myself and say, for me, I couldn't get into it because of the things that seemed unrealistic to me.
Yeah.
Or over the top, like the over top, seemingly pretty evil person who, but like you said, Joe, I mean, I don't deny that there is some totally cold behavior going on out there, and people that are and hospitals that function that way to some extent, but I think they really tried to lay it on that, oh man, these people are totally heartless, and that's why you have to take these measures, because they don't care about you unless you have money, so you gotta run in there with a gun.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
All right. So small, overflowing, medium, and mop bucket. What a
Yeah.
variety.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I think this is the widest. Of course, it kind of makes sense because we talked about at the beginning. It's a complex movie.
Yeah.
So
a lot of different facets.
Yeah, so it's understandable.
Yeah.
If you just look at the ratings, going, what in the world are the guys talking
Yeah.
about? Once you watch the movie, you see it's a complex movie, so it's a very complex.
Yeah, and each of us, I feel like, liked it
analysis.
for different reasons, and also didn't like it for different. reasons.
Yes.
That's okay though. I mean, that's why there's 3 of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but I think one thing we can all agree on is this movie was very easy to talk about.
Oh yeah, yeah, and the storyline is on the money. I agree with Justin's. Justin's faults with the movie were my faults as well. I just didn't see him that bad because I got sucked in like you did, Joe, to the story.
Right.
The story is noble.
Yes.
You know, David taking on Goliath. You know, an individual man standing up for his family and trying to take on the big corporations. The story is very noble. But I also agree with Justin that it could have been done a little better.
Yeah.
You know, some of it just missed the mark, and it's hard to look at over. But
yeah.
But then again, if you just fall into the storyline, it's very easy to watch.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, oh yeah, I'm rooting for this guy, even though he's the bad guy.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like he's the bad guy.
But we like
Quote-
those kind of movies, yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, he's a quote unquote bad guy because he is holding up a hospital people,
Yeah.
innocent people hostage.
Yeah.
But you find yourself rooting for him. It's like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, he's a bad guy. He's doing bad things, but he's doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
It's very
Tricky
yes,
deal.
Yes.
All right. Who's got is a fan pick the next?
Yeah, I believe so.
Let's roll the fan pick. What do we got?
All
Oh.
right.
Have we had any new ones lately? Anybody submit new ones lately?
Not lately.
Okay. Come on, folks. Get on board out there. Give us a little help.
Are you gonna spin the wheel, Joe?
I'm gonna say, you want to spin or you want me to?
Let's have you spin this time.
All right. Do you have the list pulled up?
1 through 127 are
Okay.
the numbers we gotta pick from here.
All right.
Got the list pulled up. Yep.
All right, man. You're on the ball. 1 to 127, you said?
Yep.
All right. All right, get ready.
And Dave, you're the Googler.
Dun,
Get
dun,
ready.
dun. I'm ready.
94.
All right. We have Steel Magnolias.
Ooh.
Ooh.
All right. Netflix.
Sounds familiar. I don't know if I've ever seen it.
It's an oldie but a goodie.
I gonna say I haven't watched it, but has Dolly Parton in it.
Oh, it's got a ton of people in it. It's a drama, I think. It's old.
I have the synopsis here. 6 women in a small southern town share gossip and solve problems at the local beauty parlor, anchoring each other through life's ups and downs.
1989.
All right. Let's put it on the short list. Let's spin again. Let's see what we get. Take another spin.
There's somebody in Steel Magnolias
20.
that's really weird. That's no, I mean there's like a surprise. It's like I want to say Tom Cruise, but I could be wrong.
Sally Field, Dolly Parton, Shirley MacLaine,
Is it? What's the guys that come up?
Daryl Hannah,
No, it's a girl.
Tom Skerritt, Sam Shepard, Dylan McDermott, Janine
Yeah.
Turner.
Yeah, that Dylan McDermott guy looks familiar.
Yeah, he's in a lot of Beeline movies.
Sam Shepard.
There's a Bill McCutcheon.
Uncle Bill.
Mm-hmm.
Big Trouble in Little China is our next one.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Is that a action movie?
Kinda. It's kind of a spoofy sci-fi action. It's got who's the guy in it?
I'm glad that
Kurt Russell.
Yeah, Kurt Russell. It's almost a Snake Plissken type movie.
okay, it's on Hulu.
Big Trouble in Little China. It's kind of silly, but
Yeah.
kind of funny. A lot of action, but stupid action. Nobody can. It's one of those movies where nobody can shoot a gun.
Also, it's a Chuck Norris movie.
I guess.
Yeah, I
Ooh.
like silly action sometimes. All right, want to do one more spin or
We can.
pick between those two?
Do one more and see what happens. So right now we got a drama, then we got a silly action. Let's see if we can pull.
108.
Okay, we've got.
And if it pulls up nothing, we'll go back to we'll spin again.
Now and then.
Huh.
It looks like it's on Tubi.
1995. Looks like a lot of teens.
Yeah, it has Rosie O'Donnell in it.
Really?
4 women from a cozy Indiana town reunite 2 decades after their last summer as preteens when they vow to stay friends with a special promise. Sounds like similar to Steel Magnolias. You want to
Or-
respin?
Sounds similar to what's that one Dave picked too, where they all meet up.
Oh, the big chill.
Big chill, yeah.
Respin.
Sure.
33.
We've got Stripes.
Stripes. Stripes, the old
Bill Murray movie.
Bill Murray, yeah, John Candy, that whole crew.
Ooh.
Stripes.
Looks
That's
like
a tricky
it's
one.
Let's see if we can find it.
free on Philo and Sling.
Because I have not watched it.
You've never seen Stripes?
I've never seen Stripes.
Justin, have you seen it? No way. It's got to be Stripes then.
Okay.
Well, no, hold on. I can't get it without paying for it.
Oh.
I know.
Philo?
Philo?
Philo or Philo?
P-H-I-L-O?
It says with a subscription.
Oh, okay, yeah, Philo's like Sling TV, you gotta pay.
Oh, you have to pay?
Yeah. So, respin?
Fubo TV.
Yeah, it's like Sling. 38.
Can't believe Stripes, man. It's been on TV for like 20 years.
What's up, Doc?
What's up, Doc?
What the heck's that?
1972 movie.
It's on Amazon.
Barbara Streisand.
Oh, no, you gotta pay for it on Amazon.
Two researchers come to San Francisco to compete for a research grant in music. I don't know.
1972.
Spin again?
I say let's choose between Steel Magnolias and what was the other one?
That Big Trouble Little China.
Big Trouble in Little China. I mean, those are decent picks.
Okay.
I would be all for Stripes. Everybody should watch Stripes at least once.
I mean, I don't care pay $3 for it, but
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of against paying for them
yeah, okay.
because that means our listeners got to pay for it.
Well, there's a good bit of money rolling in from views on this podcast, right?
Oh, yeah, I think we're up to like
At least a
$1.20
nickel a
now.
month.
We got to develop our audience. We're going to have to go on TikTok and
Yeah.
learn how to promote.
Oh, just little clips of Dave trashing Howard the Duck.
You guys laugh. We might be onto something. I might create a BTWT TikTok. You never know.
Oh boy.
There you go.
Anyway,
All right, so Steel Magnolias or Big Trouble in Little China.
so drama
Flip a coin.
or silly action? What do you guys feel like? I could watch either. Doesn't matter to me. I've seen both.
Well, let me ask you this. Because after watching Reign Over Me and John Q and Grizzly Man,
Yeah.
I'm wanting something a little different. So, I know Steel Magnolias is a classic, and Sally Field and Dolly Parton, so you know you can't go wrong there. But does Steel Magnolias fall in line with the movies we've been watching?
Not really, because it's
Okay.
kind of like comedy drama, a little bit of
Okay.
romance thrown in there. It's
Okay.
small town politics type deal.
Okay, so then
Now, but Big Trouble in Little China is definitely different.
okay, well that's what I knew just by the poster of it. It looked like it was going to be completely different. So
I mean.
okay, so then I'm good either way. So you guys pick, and
I'm on silent. I'm watching some clips from Big Trouble in Little
Oh,
China. It
boy.
does look almost.
It's kind of one of those that it's a little,
Ridiculous.
surreal, funny, silly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
so the question is, do we want Justin to create a hate list or not?
I mean, Kurt Russell is pretty entertaining. Like,
He's entertaining.
what's that other one where he's the bodyguard at the bar? Or not? He's the bouncer at the bar. Roundhouse or something.
Roadhouse. That's not
Roadhouse.
Kurt Russell. That's
That's Patrick Swayze.
Patrick Swayze.
Okay.
Yeah.
Flip a coin.
Sure.
You got a coin, Joe?
Well, how about this? I'll use the number generator and we'll just do odd or even.
Okay. Fair. So odd would be Big Trouble in Little China.
There
That's
you
pretty
go.
odd.
Yeah.
Okay, so between 1 and 127, the number. Okay, so which one's odd and which one's even? Okay, so Big Trouble in Little China is odd.
Yeah.
Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh boy.
The number was
Oh, boy.
13.
Here we
Lucky
go.
number 13.
Okay, so
1986. This should be good.
okay, so I'm a little scared now because Justin said it's going to be odd, so it was odd and it was 13 on top of that. So
Oh boy.
so what did we set ourselves up for, guys?
Oh man. I'm looking forward to this.
Oh boy.
We can blame Dave. He said it's
It was-
watchable.
Yeah, Yeah, it's a crowd pick, but it's Dave's fault.
Yeah. I like how that goes.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, it sounds good to me.
All right. Tune in next week for Big Trouble Little China
Yeah. Oh boy.
on Hulu.
Well,
Right? Is it on Hulu? Is that what, or is that the other one?
what's that?
Is it on Hulu? Is it, or is
Yeah,
it,
it's on Hulu.
okay.
I gotta say, I was hoping we get something different than what we have been in the slump, but
Oh, you got something.
oh yeah, 'cause I thought we was getting in a slump of just kind of.
I'm saying
dramatic movies.
karma just kicked in. Unlucky 13.
I was gonna say Justin's all the way Justin was talking about the preview, and then he said, "Let's make it odd because it's odd enough the way it is," and then it hits 13. I'm scared, guys.
Yeah.
Is it safe to say I'll be impressed if anybody goes above a medium on this?
So it might make you.
I don't know.
Might make you quit the.
Cena's gonna
podcast.
be mad because he's like, "Steel Magnolias would have been the pick, boys. What are you
Yeah.
thinking?" Anyway, all right. Well, Justin, take us out of here.
All right, Joseph.
All right.
Somebody.
So for
I forget how to do it. I don't know.
more reviews and news, check out our website at beentherewatchthat.com. Follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at BTWT Pod. And be sure to subscribe to the podcast. Been there, watch that. I'm getting messed up here.
Yeah.
And be sure to subscribe to. We're on all the major podcast platforms, and all of our episodes are hosted by Anchor.fm.
All right. Well, Justin, we have.
Been there. Watch that.
All right. So, finishing up with John Q, headed towards Big Trouble in Little China, lucky number 13 for us. We'll be back next week. Make sure you join us. Make sure you get in your fan submissions. And for myself, Joe, and Justin, we'll see everybody next week.